Well, welcome back, and we're going to move on now to pronunciation. We've done a lot of work in vocabulary and all the various methodologies to teach vocabulary words. But now it's time to start helping our students work on reproducing the sounds of our letters. Now, on the next section, and I'd like to have you go to Lesson 1 and turn to the page that has pronunciation and the columns of the pronunciation words. Now, pronunciation is designed to help your students, as I said, reproduce the sounds. This is not designed for you to define the meaning of the word or to jump around and try to quiz them and confuse them. It's just to help them learn how to form the sounds in their mouth and to be able to sound more like a native English speaker. There's two ways that you can help them. Let me recommend that you do one thing. You notice that in the column, what I have done through this sheet here, and if you have access to a computer and a printer, that would be really good to type up in the largest font of a word processing software and to make the column that's in the book. And then print it off and put it into a little plastic sheet for protection. Many of our classes do not meet in a formal classroom setting with tables and chairs. We often recommend that it be an informal setting in a living room in somebody's apartment or their home. And so therefore you won't have a fancy blackboard or a big plastic sheet, and you don't want to take the time to write out this during the class time. Have it all prepared ahead of time, so all you have to do is to be able to pull it out and be able to work on the sounds. The next thing is that if you have a partner or two helping you, I would recommend that if you are doing the teaching at the time, have your partner hold the column or hold the sheet or whatever, and you would then be able to face your student and they can hear you say the sound while your partner is moving their finger or the writing instrument underneath the word from left to right and going down the column. You want to do one column at a time from top to bottom. And again, you're emphasizing the sound. So you as teachers are listening, maybe not so much the correct sound of the word, such as like apple. They may have a little different pronunciation. You're listening for the sound in the word at the beginning of each word. All right, so now here's how. You're going to use our good old model, repeat, and solo. And so here's how you would do it. So you say, please listen. At, am, apple, an. Now you notice I didn't go real slow, because when you start going slow, you instinctively slow down and you start sounding mechanical and unnatural. There is a rhythm pattern to our learning, as our body has a rhythm pattern. And so you don't want to go too fast, because they may be for the first time looking at our script, our Roman script, and so they're trying to analyze and memorize it, and yet you don't want to go real slow. So it's a nice beat rhythm pattern. So you'd say, please listen. At, am, apple, an. And you do this about 3 times. Start at the top with the sound, move right through the column. After you've done that, then you say, please repeat. And you have your students repeat it maybe 2 times, 3 times. You as a teacher can determine whether they're saying it correctly, and if they are, then you can move on to the solo. Have each student go through the column. So you don't want to be standing 10, 15 feet away from your students. You want to be able to be only maybe a couple feet right in front of them, and then as you go from student to student, they can read through the column and you can help them when necessary. Now remember, you're teaching the sound. All right, and once you do that, maybe your partner then can take another column. And so the sound of the next consonant, this is the vowel sound we just did. Now the consonant sound, you're wanting to hear them do an explosive sound. The B sound, the B, B. So you would say, please listen, B, boy, bat, bus, baby. Do that 3 times. Start at the top. B, boy, bat, bus, baby, and then have them repeat. They will get into that rhythm pattern. And as you go through lesson by lesson, they will know what to expect and how to respond. Make sure you have the sound and not the name of the letter. All right? Now, here's what I'd like to have you do. Take your partners, you're maybe teamed up as you're learning, viewing this video training. And I want you to take a column from lesson 1, and if there's more teachers than there are the number of columns, pronunciation columns in lesson 1, you can take columns from the other lessons because each lesson is pretty much the same. Take those and teach one column, starting with a model repeat solo, and teach your students a column, a sound. All right? Take about 20 minutes, 25, depending on the size of your training group, and then we'll come back and we'll move on to clap to stress, which is going to be lots of fun. All right? We'll see you in a bit.